Fellowship of sunshine, fellowship of hill and wind, fellowship of sunshine. Upon this mountain summit, we are met today. We are met today to dedicate this space of hills to freedom. Dear native regions, I foretell from what I feel at this farewell.
The Fellowship of Hill and Wind and Sunshine, for me, is about a number of things. First of all, it's about celebrating the fact that these fells are in public ownership, that we do have the right to roam over them, and that's not to be taken for granted.
Survive on local sympathy.
But it's also about remembrance. It's also about remembering the fact that this was part of the great gift which was given to the nation by the Fell and Rock Climbing Club. It was a real act of total generosity from the heart. And so the project for me is about keeping that in mind, particularly as we're coming up to 100 years from the armistice.
Where this story started for me was I was doing some research into the National Trust history, and I came across the speech that was given by Geoffrey Winthrop Young on top of Great Gable at the dedication. And I'd never even heard of mountains being given as war memorials. It was completely unknown to me. And that speech, reading it, the hairs just stood up on the back of my neck. After the First World War, there was so much grief and there was so much hardship. But for people to club together and have that greatness of spirit to buy these mountains and then gift them to the nation, it's just an incredibly visionary act. It needed to be something that was informed by the mountaineering principle of leave no trace. So that's when I approached Dave Camlin and said, well, could we do a cycle of songs, a suite of songs that we could sing and perform on the top of the mountains, so that when we leave, the landscape is just as untouched as it was before we went there.
It's feeling down in your guts almost, and it makes your spine tingle, sometimes the hair on the back of your necks. We've had quite a few tears and emotional things along the way when we've been practicing.
So they've come from all over the place. People are in community choirs all over Cumbria, from the northeast, from Yorkshire. There's people who've travelled from Somerset, from Devon, all over the place.
This land is yours, this land is yours, this land is mine, this land is mine. From California to the islands, from Bradford Forest to Solway waters. This land was made for you and me.
When Jessie first started talking about the project, it just felt like a really natural thing to do. Let's get a crowd of people together and turn it into a big celebration.
I don't have any experience of walking in the fells or hills or anywhere like that, so I was really interested in testing my boundaries, and just the whole idea of singing in the mountains was just fabulous.
And the feeling of singing with other people is of a deep connection, so it's a way of being in harmony with people without speaking, if that makes sense.
There are ghosts on the road that never ends. Hear those voices say away.
People have been so dedicated. There have been recordings available of the songs so that people can download and do a bit of practice. But really, we've got like a 6-hour workshop on the day before we go up the mountain. And by the end of that workshop, we've got all the songs ready to sing. And it's just the sheer will and enthusiasm of the singers.
Keep on walking down the old straight track. Keep on walking down the old straight track.
think the legacy of this project will be the memories that people take away. I've just had one lady say to me that other than her wedding day and when her children were born, this has been the most amazing experience of her life. And that isn't something that you get every day. I think people will carry this in their hearts, you know, till the day they die, and that is pretty special.